Hi everyone. Now we will start another new topic, chromatography. So we know that chromatography is a separation technique in which we will separate compound mixture into its individual components. And in the previous lecture we have seen how the chromatography will used to separate the compound mixture from different samples. So here today's lecture we will know what is a gas chromatography. So here the term gas chromatography. So here gas will used as a mobile phase in this chromatography. Generally if you will talk about a chromatography, so chromatography consists of a stationary phase and a mobile phase. And a stationary phase may be solid and liquid phase, and mobile phase may be liquid and gas phase. So here in gas chromatography we will use gas as a mobile phase, and that stationary phase used will be solid or liquid. That will be coated on a inert surface inside the column. So generally here we can see this is a animated video of a gas chromatography. So in gas chromatography we have a carrier gas where that there are several mobile phase like helium, hydrogen. Gas can be used as a mobile phase, and here we can see we have the important unit column. So column or this column where the compound mixture gets separated into its individual components, and column is called as a heart of this gas chromatography. So first we will inject sample into this sample valve. Then sample is injected into the column, followed by the vaporization, and after the vaporization the compound mixture gets separated, and its separation in a gas chromatography depends upon its boiling point and interaction with the column. More the affinity with the column, so it will elute out later, followed by the less polar compound. And also in terms of polarity, more the compound polar and it will be less volatile. So if the compound is less volatile, it goes slowly into the column. Then finally we will have the detector in which the compounds are identified. And finally we have a display unit. So we will see the different components that present in a gas chromatography. So generally the gas chromatography are three types: gas liquid partition chromatography, gas solid chromatography, and bonded space chromatography. So in gas liquid partition chromatography, where the gas will be a mobile phase and liquid will be a stationary phase that will be coated on the inert surface. So why it is called partition chromatography? Where the compound mixture partition between a gas as a mobile phase and a liquid between that compound mixture partition, and the separation is depend upon the distribution. Distribution of compounds into the gas and liquid. Another one called as a gas solid chromatography. So in gas solid chromatography, the solid will be stationary phase and gas is a mobile phase. So more the affinity of your compound mixture towards the solid phase, so it will less elute out from the column, followed by the less affinity of a compound mixture. Then we have a bonded phase. Bonded phase is a chemically layer supported bonded to the solid support. So these are the components of a gas chromatography. So here we should know what is the carrier gas, sample injector, column, oven, and a detector. So generally we will use a inert gas. So generally hydrogen is a instead of hydrogen is a, we can use here hydrogen or a helium as a carrier gas, but generally the helium is a preferred over hydrogen. We will see what why we have to use a helium as a carrier gas or mobile phase in a gas chromatography. Then another unit is a sample injector. So in sample injector we will inject our sample in a liquid form. Suppose if you have a solid sample, solid organic compound, so like pesticides, most of the pesticide standards are in a solid form. So then that we have to dissolve in a appropriate organic solvent like methanol or ethanol or acetone. Then that liquid sample is injected into this sample injector. Then here the sample injector has some temperature like 50 to 150 centigrade, and when you will increase the temperature, the compound will get vaporized, okay, or the compounds get volatile into the column. And the important point of gas chromatography, the compound should be volatile. So in gas chromatography we can analyze those compounds that are volatile, and the compounds, if we cannot make the compound volatile in this sample injector, so that so it is very difficult to analyze those type of compounds. So the important criteria for analyzing compounds in gas chromatography, that compounds should be volatile between 50 to 150 centigrade. Then after the volatilization, it will travel into the column. More the volatility of the compound, it will fastly travel into the column and it reaches detector. So this is a one criteria for a separation of a compound mixture in a gas chromatography. Another point is the interaction with the column. So more the affinity towards the column, it will slowly travel, okay, and reaches late to the detector, okay. And another one is a polarity. More the polarity of the compound, it will less volatile. So less volatile, it slowly reaches to the detector. So we have three criteria for a separation of a compound mixture in a gas chromatography. First one is a volatile. More the volatile of the compound, it reaches detector fastly. Second one is the affinity towards the stationary phase. More the affinity or interaction with the stationary phase, it will be again. It will be slowly reaches to the detector, and less interaction, so it reaches detector fastly. And third one is depends upon the polarity. Polarity means the more the polar the compound will be less volatile. So these are the three criteria by which the compound mixture can be separated in a gas chromatography. Then here we can see the dissection view of a gas chromatography. So we have a sample inlet where the sample is injected. Okay. Then we have another part of gas chromatography is called as a column. So column is, as I told, that is a heart of the this instrument. Like the main part of our human body is a heart. Okay. If that heart will fail, so the life will end. Okay. Similarly, the important component of this instrument is a column, because in this column the compounds get separated, depends upon its retention time. So we will see what is a retention time. Okay. Then we have a oven. So the function of oven to provide different temperature for making the chemical substance volatile. Then we have a detector. So the final part of this instrument is detector, where the compound mixture finally separated and identified. Okay. So first one is carrier gas. Okay. So this is an important component, because in stationary phase the stationary phase and mobile phase are important components, and here carrier gas should contain. So generally helium, nitrogen and hydrogen can be used, but most of the time helium is used as a carrier gas, and but hydrogen has a better thermal conductivity, but its disadvantage is to get react with the unsaturated compounds. So because most of the organic compounds that we are going to analyze in gas chromatography are unsaturated, and there is a chance of addition reaction to the unsaturated compound. Okay. And the important component, what are the important characteristics of a carrier gas or mobile phase? So it should be inert. So the carrier gas like hydrogen, so because hydrogen can interact with the unsaturated compound, so we cannot use in gas chromatography as a mobile phase. So generally first component, okay, and it should not react with the sample or a stationary phase, and high purity. So in gas chromatography the mobile phase purity is 99.99, okay, 39, and it should not be explosive, because we know that hydrogen is a explosive gas, and it is very difficult to storage that gas. Okay, and best performance with a column. Then another one is a sample injection system. Most of the common method involves the use of micro syringe. So micro syringe in the range of 1 to 10 microliter, and that in sample injection system that consists of a micro syringe, and it consists of a silicon rubber diaphragm, okay, septum. So in which we injecting our sample, and that has property to self-sealing. Okay, so our body is a self-sealing. Okay, when that we are injecting that anything into the body, after taking out the syringe, so there is no outflow of the blood. So that means our skin has a self-sealing characteristics. Okay, so many samples are unsuitable for direct injection into as chromatograph, because high polarity, low volatility, and a thermal instability. So this is a block diagram of a sample injector. So this is a the syringe needle. We have a septum, and that is made up of a rubber silicone. Okay, rubber silicone, and that has the property of a self-sealing. And when we inject our sample, so here there is a vaporization chamber. So that has a some thermal heating component, and when that liquid sample come out, it get vaporized, and then it goes to the column. Then another one is a column. Okay, because as I told, it is an important component in this gas chromatography. So here there are two types of a column. First one is a packed column. So packed column is a in this image we can see this is a packed column, and length of this column is about 0.5 to 2 meter, and that outer layer of this column is made up of a stainless steel or a glass, and inside there is a filling of a stationary phase, and the packed column have a stationary phase of a less than 100 to 300 micrometer diameter particles, because that stationary phase are either in the form of a solid or liquid. And if you are using a solid gas chromatography, then that time we will use a silica particles, and the outer diameter of this packed column is a 2 to 6 mm ID, and a OD outer diameter 3 to 10 mm. Then we have a open tubular column, and most of the modern gas chromatography use this capillary open tubular column, and that this type we can see. Okay, this is an image of a open tubular capillary column. Okay, and its size is about 10 to 20 meter. Okay, 10 to 20 meter, or there is I think 30 to 90 meter. So you can imagine. So more the length of a column, you can separate maximum number of compounds in a single run, and ID is a 2.5 to 7.5 mm. And there are again this open tubular column. Column is a two type. One is a support coated open tubular, that is called SCOT. Okay, and that containing a particle of a support of that means just earth. Okay, of a 30 micrometer size. So that this is a stationary phase that are coated inside the base. And another one is a V-core. We call as a wall coated open tubular. They are made from a stainless steel, copper, nylon or glass. The outer material, okay, outer base material is made up of steel, copper, nylon or glass. And inside the coating material is less than 1 micrometer size. And where that is a stationary phase where the compound mixture get separated. Then here we can see the utility or the difference between a packed column and a open tubular column. So this is a when we will use packed column in a gas chromatography. So we will see the separation of the compounds. Okay. So first one is the butanol, pentanol, and hexanol. Suppose if we inject these compounds in a gas chromatography, after the separation, we will see this type of separation in a gas chromatography. And when you inject your compound in a capillary column, we will see the more number of compounds using open tubular column. So with this gas chromatography chart, what is the important findings? So here we can see the compounds are less resolved. Okay, so there is a less resolution of a compound mixture. Another disadvantage of this packed column chromatography is it requires more retention time. So retention, what is the retention time? It is a time taken by the compound to retain inside the column. Okay, so how much time retain that compound into the column? So that is called the retention time. So generally the retention time is a time of injection to time of elution. Okay, elution from the column. So that is called retention time of a compound. But the advantage of this packed column chromatography is we can separate large amount of compounds in a packed column. So this is a advantage of packed column. Another advantage of this packed column chromatography is we can prepare this packed column column into our lab, and it is a economic, less cost. Then here come to the capillary column. So what are the advantages of this capillary column? We can separate more number of a compound mixture compared to the packed column. Another one, it requires less time for a analysis because the retention time is very less. So these are the advantage and disadvantage of a packed column. But the disadvantage of this capillary column is it is, I think, 5 to 10 times more expensive, okay, than this packed column. Then another one, these are the different packed column, okay. So if you want to, so the packed column is for the compound mixture where there were a 5 to 6 compound if you are going to separate. So these are the different commercially available packed column. So these are the different commercial name of those column. And if you have like OV1 or SE30 and the packing material inside the stationary phase is a polydimethyl silicone, okay, and we can use this column for separation of non-polar compounds, hydrocarbon, polynuclear aromatic steroids and this PCB like compound. So these are the different columns that we can get from the market, and we can separate these. Like if you want to separate like drug, steroids, pesticide, glycols, then we have to use a OV17 column. So these are the different commercially available column. The next one is a column. So the function of a column O1, okay. So the function of a O1 to provide temperature to the column. So the temperature of that column can be increased from 50 to 330 centigrade. Okay. So the column O1 temperature is slowly increased. As the temperature is increased, your compounds get volatile. Okay, volatile. Then and the separation of the compound is depend upon the boiling point. So so suppose the compound having a less boiling point, so it will volatile first, okay, followed by the higher boiling point compounds. Generally the separation of compound mixture we can say depends upon the volatility, but it depends upon the boiling point of a compound. Then we have a detector. So these are the different characteristics, okay, of a better detector. So it should have high sensitivity and reproducibility, good stability, and high reliability, and a temperature range from room temperature to least 400 centigrade. Okay. So there are different types of detectors. So you must know what are the detectors that we can use in a gas chromatography. Okay. So we have a FID, flame ionization detector. Okay, flame ionization detector. This is the full form is a FID, flame ionization detector, and it is a universal detector. Okay, the FID is a, if you buy the gas chromatography, so that is a most of time this FID we can use for. So the FID can be used for almost organic compounds. Okay, because we know that this gas chromatography is used for a analysis of a organic compound. Okay. And we can detect the sensitivity for this if you are using FID 1 picogram. What picogram for the solid sample. Okay. Then TCT, thermal conductivity. So this is also called a universal detector because the flame ionization is used for hydrocarbons. And if you are talking about the hydrocarbons, so the organic compounds is a hydrocarbons. Okay. Then ECD, electron capture detector. So it is used for a halogenated compounds, and the sensitivity is a 5 femtogram. Then we have a mass spectrometer. Okay, mass spectrometer. So generally we can instead of a flame ionization, we can mass spectrometer. And mass spectrometer, if you will use mass spectrometer as a detector in gas chromatography, so it is a very sensitive technique. as means today the most sensitive technique is a mass spectrometry, and we can see here, we can separate picogram or autogram level of a compound that present in a sample. So there are other more detectors we can use, okay, depending upon the application. Then a flame ionization detector. Here you should know the principle of a flame ionization detector. Okay, so here the term flame ionization. So flame is used to ionize the compound mixture, okay, that are coming from the column. So first we are injecting the sample into the instrument, then it goes to the column. Depending upon the volatility, interaction, okay, it's separated, then it finally it goes to the detector. So here the we can say your sample, your compound mixture, okay, going into the detector in the form of a gaseous, okay, gaseous form, it is a going into the detector. So here in flame ionization detector we will use, okay, we will use hydrogen, okay, here we will use hydrogen as a fuel, okay, hydrogen is used as a fuel, and in the presence of oxidant, pure oxygen, okay, pure oxygen, your compound gets pyrolyzed or burned, okay. So if you are burning any organic compound, okay, if you are burning any organic compound at a high temperature, around I think 3000 centigrade, okay, you are burning your compound at a 3000 centigrade, so that your compound will get ionized, okay, ionized means there is a production of a electrons, okay. So here we can see so here the compound mixture, okay, compound mixture, so that separated from the column is coming in a as a gaseous form, okay. So now here we are mixing that hydrogen, okay, a hydrogen from here, and we will and also there is a mixing of a oxygen as an oxidant. Then here a compound mixture burned, okay. After the burning, it will produce the ions or electrons, and if then that produced electrons or ions are depending upon the amount of a compound. More the concentration of compound, more will be the production of electrons, okay, and that electrons is directly proportional to the current, okay, current, and that current is a digitally measured, okay, in the instrument. So this is another cross view of this flame ionization detector. We have hydrogen, gaseous, that compound mixture, air, and here we can see that here it forms ions or electrons, okay, and that is converted into electrical signal into the gas chromatography. TCD, thermal conductivity detector. So here there are some metals like gold, tungsten, and platinum. So these are a semiconductor thermistor, okay, and here how that signals, okay, coming from the column is measured, okay. So here thermal conductivity, okay, so here the term conductivity. So suppose this one 2 and 3 sample gas inlet, and here we have a reference, okay. So you know what is the use of a reference. So if you want to determine the concentration of your sample, okay, in any spectroscopic technique, we have a sample and a reference. So here the gaseous sample, okay, gaseous sample that separated from your column is a coming, okay, in a two from here, and here you will put a reference gas. So that reference gas, and here the conductivity difference between sample and reference, okay, the conductivity difference between a samples and a reference is measured, because before injecting sample into the instrument, that reference have some conductivity. Okay, when your sample, okay, comes into gases from here, then the conductivity will change. So that the difference in the conductivity between sample and reference is measured in a TCD. Okay, so this is the principle of a TCD in a gas chromatography. Another detector is a electron capture detector. Okay, and characteristics of detector. This is a use for the compounds containing a electronegative groups. So if your compound containing halogen group, so the most of the chlorinated pesticide. So in your syllabus you have a chlorinated pesticides, and most of, if you will see, if you are using some pesticide in your farms or a garden, then there you can see the label. The most of the pesticide is a chlorine containing chloropyrifos. Okay, chloropyrifos is a best example of a chlorine containing pesticide. So that is a mostly the people are using in their garden or farms. Okay, so here we will understand what is the principle of this electron capture detector. So here again, here we can see your compound mixture in the form of gas will reach to this radioactive emitter. Okay, radioactive emitter. What is the function of radioactive emitter? It will release electron, okay, from this part, and your compound coming here, which is a electronegative, it will absorb that electron. Okay, so when the it will absorb the electron, and so there is a change. Okay, there is a change in the organic molecules capture the electron and decrease the current. Okay, so this is a principle of electron capture detector. So here we can see the separation of some compounds. So as we know that more the compounds are polar, so it is a less. Okay, it will be highly retained into the column, and the compounds which are non-polar, so they can easily volatile, and it reaches detector fastly. Okay, then this is a temperature programming. So the temperature programming is very important in gas chromatography. So here we have a gradient separation of compound mixture and isocratic. Isocratic means same temperature. We will maintain the separation of compound mixture in a gas chromatography, same temperature. Okay. And gradient temperature we will change. We will change the temperature of a compound, and gradient temperature from this image we can say the compound is same. Here when we used gradient illusion, okay, of a different hydrocarbon. So here we can see the compounds are not properly separated, or the peaks are very broad. Okay, very broad, and it require long retention time for separation of your compound mixture. But when you have a imparted, okay, gradient separation, then you can say there is a well separation or a better resolution of compound mixture, and also it reduce the time of separation of your compound mixture. Okay, so here the finally the application of gas chromatography. So the gas chromatography, as we know that this technique is used for separation of a volatile organic compound. So we can separate vitamins, steroid, drug, pesticide. As we know that vitamins are an important component in a food material. So the presence of vitamins from several food material can be analyzed, and drug analysis like clinical samples, the different drugs can be also analyzed, and pesticide residue. So the means these days the people are using a high concentration of pesticide, okay, into the food material, and the presence of that pesticide in a food can be monitored, okay. And we can also analyze trace elements. So there are different application of this gas chromatography in like environmental sample, food sample, clinical samples. Thank you.